4, 3, 2, 1. It's G from Native Speakers Academy, which is a small private holistic language school based in Banska Bystrica in central Slovakia. This is part of our project from our Facebook group Skype Coaching for Teachers of the English Language, where we discuss issues and topics related to teachers who are working in the field right now. Today, I'm joined by one of the members of the group. This is Stefan. And Stefan, tell us a little bit about the work that you do. Tell us which type of students you're working with.
I'm working with seniors in Banska Bystrica. I teach them. I just started to teach them English language. Just this is going to be the third class. I used to teach a little bit of English, so I'm just getting into it, and I think that's it. Maybe what I do when I want to improve my English, I watch a lot of CNN and CNBC and BBC and France 24 channels. I understand almost everything. My only problem is that I don't talk too much. So I have to get experience with more talking, and I don't write too much. What I do, I usually use Word for fixing my mistakes that I make. So I don't write. I just listen a lot because I listen music. I listen to English channels, I listen to English radio, so I listen a lot. Only I don't speak, I don't write, I don't read maybe so much. I just listen a lot.
Okay, super. What do you think are some of the difficulties and challenges that English teachers have today in the classroom? What kind of problems does the average teacher have to deal with?
The average teacher, maybe the teacher has to be has to teach attractively, so that the students listen to him or her, and that the students. It depends whether you are teaching seniors, whether you are teaching juniors or adults. From my point of view, from my experience, the young students at secondary and maybe elementary schools, they are not so keen on studying English, but also it depends probably from person to person. I have experience where the students were not so keen on studying any subject at school. But before I taught at secondary school. I taught seniors. I taught teachers, but it was not English. It was computer skills at Methodic and Pedagogic Center in Banska Bystrica. And it was totally different. The teachers and the pedagogical and non-pedagogical students or applicants or attendants, they were keen on studying. They gave me very nice feedback. So it was a little bit different than teaching the students. But I am not saying that the students were bad or whatever. Only they were not so keen on studying any subject at school, probably. And now I teach seniors, and seniors, it's again different. Seniors are keen on studying, The only problem is that I'm not very experienced with teaching English, so I have to develop some kind of system how I'm going to do it. It will be probably the same as when I start to teach computer skills. I was totally novice. I was new to this field, and I had to find the ways how I can transfer my experience to my students.
Hmm.
What I know to the students.
Hmm. Super. So you recognized a difference in the motivation between the first group and the second group of students that you talked about.
You mean adults and young students?
The
Young
two
students?
groups. You said that one group, the technically orientated students, seemed more motivated. Is that right?
But it was not because it was technical subject. It was because these students were adults, and from my point of view, or from my experience, the adults they want to study. Of course, not all of them, but most of them, or bigger part of them, they are keen on studying because they know that what you explain to them is going to be useful for them, and they are going to get a better job, better position at work, or that they will improve some of their skills. And when you teach young students at secondary and elementary schools, they are, phew, doesn't matter. I don't need that. Like. I am the boss of the world, and nobody's going to tell me what I should do, you know. So it's a little bit different from there, but it's normal, I think, because they are developing their organism, and I think it's the puberty, you know, so they are hyper critical to everything, and when you try to teach them something, they say that it's not important for them.
Uh-huh. So are they right when they say that it's not important?
I think they are wrong, but uh, when you tell them something to do, they will do the total opposite. Like I've got a 20 years old son. My son is 20 years old. He's going to study at University of Matvey Bell Law, and I can see that what I tell him, or the communicating with him, is very difficult. He doesn't pick up the phones. When I send him SMS, he doesn't answer for 2 or 3 days, and only after that he says that he's not going to come to see my family, stuff like that. So, but it's normal, I think, and he's a little bit lazy. He's not keen on studying like I am. He's total opposite of me. And so I can see that, but again, I cannot compare my son with other students. There might be some students who are keen on, studying, but again, from my experience from Zvolen, from the secondary school, there was total disaster because the students were misbehaving, and most of them didn't want to study. But there were some students, now I remember, who were keen on, but it was quite difficult to explain, try to teach them something. When I taught the adults, there were no problems at all, but with young people, Like I told you before we started to record this broadcast, my boss at the school secondary told me that I was too friendly to them. I was too friendly, and that I should be more strict. And it was probably my mistake, not their mistake, that I was too friendly to them.
Mhm. Um, why do you think so? So basically, you think that there's there's probably a need in some environments for strong discipline.
For sure, at secondary and elementary school, for sure, because students have to pass the state exam at the end of their studying at the elementary, not elementary, at the secondary school, and elementary too. So I was teaching just computers, and uh, they there was no exam from this subject. But for example, if I was teaching English, that would be quite disaster for me if I didn't if I wasn't strict. So maybe if I was in a different position, if I knew that I would that my student would have to pass the exam, I would be more I would be stricter. So there was probably just the situation that I was in, that maybe even students were did not take my subject as a very difficult one, and that I was not so strict to them.
Mhm.
I was I tried to be helpful, and that was not probably very good for me.
Mhm. Did you feel that maybe the students took advantage of your good nature and your friendliness?
Uh, my boss told me at the secondary school that I should be stricter. That for example, when the students came to the class, some of them were eating or drinking at the class, computer class, and that was not allowed. So I should have been, I should have mm, said, I should have said that you are not allowed to do this at the class, but I was not, maybe let's say, brave enough to fight with them with this.
Mhm. Okay. If you think back to your own experiences as a student, what kind of classes did you enjoy? And did you like the classes where the teachers were more strict or less strict? Can you remember back to your own experiences?
When I was studying at elementary and secondary schools, there was communism in Slovakia. It was strict kind of school. You could not disagree. Then after that, when I studied at the university, it was total opposite. Everything was allowed. So I and I think from this point of view, it should be something in the middle, not too much of democracy, and not too much of strictness, something like that.
Hmm. Do you think that, or which system was better for the students? Do you think the older system under communism, or do you think the new system? Which system is better?
I am looking at this from the technological point of view, because at communism there was not so many there were not so many computers, and like I think this second one is better. but uh, I studied at because I have studied at three universities or three studies at universities. I've got the master's degree at economic faculty of University of Matvei Bell. Then I've got additional pedagogical studies at the same university at pedagogical faculty, and then I was trying to, but I didn't finish it. Study additional computer studies at Ružomberk Catholic University, and I liked it at the Ružomberk University as well. Only thing that I didn't finish the studies were that it was too financially complicated for me, too much. I did. I should have paid too much money, and I didn't have enough time to finish the school. So, but I liked it. Even the Ružomberk's Catholic University, Banska Bystrica University Matvei Bell is okay.
How about rules for the classroom, especially when you're teaching the English language? Do you think there should be a fixed set of rules for the students in the classroom, or is it better to be flexible?
I think it's better to be flexible because you should be flexible at the classes. Like for example, when I teach the class, I prepare different kind of materials, and only when I come to the class, only then I decide what we are going to study. It's not like I'm decided before the class that I'm going to teach this subject or from any other materials. I rather prepare from more materials for the class, and then at the class pardon me, I ask students what they would like to study, and what's their interest, where they should what they would like to study.
And what kind of response do you get from the students when you do that?
They like very much. They like my kind of teaching. The only is that I told you that I'm too friendly for secondary elementary schools. You know. Seniors is okay because they are behaving rightly. They like it's you don't have to always punish them for anything that they are doing bad. Most of the time they are friendly as well, and they want to study. Though there are some exceptions, of course, because some seniors are starting to be like children sometimes, you know, and they catch you, and when you say something, they like are behaving like some of them like children, and you have to be very patient to don't argue with them with something.
Mhm. When you say they are behaving like children, are they, but they are children, aren't they? Or are they,
Seniors,
or are they transitioning? How old are
because
they?
we in Slovakia say that some seniors or very old people are starting to behave like children. Some of them, you know, they are very picky, and they are sometimes sarcastic and stuff like that, you know. So sometimes you get in the class this kind of seniors, but I hope that I can handle it with patience, like I said, and that everything will be okay.
Okay. Um, the students that you teach English to, what age are they?
Right now, these ones, they are
Yeah.
about they are about 60, or there is even one guy, like I told you, he's about 85, and he behaves like a small child sometimes.
So the students you're teaching are English to are age 60 to 85.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, okay. So I had this idea that they were maybe teenagers going to college or something like that, but they're not. They're not young
No, no,
people.
they are seniors. They are not young people. Right now, I'm teaching seniors who are retired.
Okay, people who are retired, because when you say seniors in
Yes.
English to a lot of people, it means people in their last year of high school. So
No, I'm
people age
sorry.
18, people age 18. When you say I'm teaching seniors,
I'm
um,
sorry.
that's what it means to most people. So if you are teaching people age 60 to age 85, then that would be retired people, which we sometimes refer to as seniors, but not very often and not in an educational context. We wouldn't
Okay.
talk about them like that. So be careful with your definitions of things so that we get clear. So, um, we've established that sometimes it can be hard to keep control of a group of students and keep their attention. So, are there any strategies that you think work well or that you can use for helping keep students focused during sessions?
I think very important is, like you said, tone of your voice, and that you have to speak very slowly sometimes, and most of the time you have to speak very slowly, and that you should be confident with what you are talking about, that you know what you are talking about. Like I've got, when I teach English, I usually uh, prepare for the class before the class at least 2, 3, or even more hours. I read the materials that I'm going to teach so that I very well prepared, so that I know that what I'm going to talk about, and then I've just kind of try to create very interesting material for the students. I put them on the Moodle, the materials, and then I try to communicate with them, which in Slovak, when I teach computer skills, is very easy for me. But now, when I try to communicate in English, I am not very experienced with this, so I'm just at the beginning of this long journey. I think that I'm going to communicate more. Um, yes.
Is there anything that you know from your work with students before? Is there anything that definitely works and anything that definitely doesn't work for you in your experience with keeping students' attention and focus in the classroom?
Attention and focus.
Mhm. For example, um, have when we introduce topics to students, when we introduce new themes, there are various different ways that we can present the material. Obviously, the obviously the absolute worst situation is, sit down, open your book, turn to page 40, which is no lead in, no introduction. There's no building trust and rapport with the group of students. So When you walk into a classroom and there's a group of students, is there something that you can say or something you can do or something you can ask to establish the beginning of the session?
When we have first class, on the first class like this, when we had first class, it was on the 20th of September. I first registered the students to the Moodle e-learning, and then on the second class, all of us were introducing ourselves. So it is a little bit of building trust. So I asked the students was their experience with English, and was their and what they are expecting from studying this language. They told me that they have got very interesting English teacher before me, and they are expecting something like that from me as well. So
That's difficult, isn't it? That puts some pressure on the new teacher when they say that
yes,
the old teacher
yes,
was good.
a little bit. It's a little bit of pressure, but I take it easy. I try to be confident and try to do the best that I
Yeah.
can.
Do you know who their teacher was before? Did you have a chance to speak to their last teacher, or you didn't know the teacher at all?
I don't know her, but she's supposed to be quite old lady from secondary school in Banska Bystrica.
Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. So, uh, let's look at different ways of keeping focus, keeping the group focus, and keeping attention. I think this is a problem for all educators wherever they are, because it doesn't matter if you are in front of a group of young students, a group of old students. It doesn't matter if you're doing sport or yoga or languages or chemistry. There are certain techniques that can help. There are certain techniques, and I think one of the things that can help is, well, you can take two roads basically. You can either say, I'm going to try something new, and I'm going to experiment and see what the results are, or I'm going to stick with what I know. There's nothing wrong with sticking with what you know if it works, but I think it's always worth experimenting and pushing borders and boundaries and seeing what you can discover about your own abilities and what you can discover from within the group. If we take a simple example of this, let's say introducing some form of media into the environment, into the classroom, sort of playing a video or putting something on a big screen or uh, bringing in a computer and playing some kind of video to introduce students to a topic, or if you've got access to a tablet, doing something like that. I know when I've taught smaller summer courses that from time to time I like to put little pictures on a tablet and show the pictures to the students as a stimulus for discussion. So are there any examples where there's been extra stimulus that you're able to bring into the environment?
Yes, like right now, tomorrow I'm going to have the class, and I prepared some YouTube videos, about 5 or 6 of them. I don't think I will be able to use all of them, but I think one or two of them will be all right. And then I have got some materials that before I was teaching some students here at my flat, and I I prepared some materials from this time, and I published them in the e-learning on the Moodle.
Hmm.
And then something else, there is grammar. When I was in Canada in 1992, 1993, I got some materials from Confederation College. Again, I don't think I will be able to use all of the materials. It will just depend in the class what the student will expect from me, whether they will want to study grammar or they will want to communicate more or just listen to the videos. I'm quite keen on seeing whether they will like more videos or they will want to study more of grammar. But I think videos will be more interesting.
Mhm. Do you think that they're going to learn much practical language from watching the videos?
Once I didn't listen very well. One more
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Do you think that from watching the videos they're they're going to feel a lot of progress? How much do you think they will be able to pick up from the language from watching the videos?
I think it will be better than just studying grammar. They told me that they have already studied English grammar, but these videos will be probably more interesting for them. I wanted to say something else, but I don't remember that.
Mhm.
We've got, yes, and now I know. We've got uh, uh, how do you say, data projector
Mhm.
in class. So I will use this tool to I will use this tool to project the videos on the table, and we will talk about it. We will pause the video. I will translate if they will not understand. And then there is another thing because at the beginning of the course, I I registered them to the e-learning, and I found out that not all the retired students are keen on using Moodle. So, and they are not very keen, some of them, like this 95-year-old man, doesn't even like computers at all. So it's quite hard to use Moodle.
Okay, what is he doing there if he doesn't like technology and you have to use
Like
technology?
he told me that he wants to talk a lot. He told me that he wants to
Well, he
talk.
should go to a bar, no?
Yes, maybe, maybe,
He should go to a
maybe.
bar or join a club or for
That
doing
that's
that
that
or
that's
something.
yes, that's the problem with me. That's the problem with me. If I have at the class a student that is misbehaving or that is doing some difficulties, um, I am not so strict to tell him that he's doing something wrong. I usually I usually ignore it. I usually don't react to this emotion or anything like that.
Uh-huh. Um, and what does the student do when you don't react to it? How does the student react to your no reaction?
Like it's not like ignoring. I try to explain that, for example, it's like that. It's very important to use computers. Like on the second class, I we use computers for dictionaries, just for dictionaries, not for e-learning, just for dictionaries. I showed them Collins dictionary, online dictionary, which I consider very interesting dictionary, because there are sections for just total English learning beginners, and the explanation of the words at the dictionary for learners are amazing in my opinion, because it's explained in a very easy and understandable way, the dictionary. So we use the Collins dictionary, and we use another English to Slovak and Slovak to English dictionary. So I think the students were quite happy with that, with what we were studying.
Hmm. And of a how much of a normal class, how much time in a normal class is spent checking things in a dictionary?
This was just because it's like 90 minute two lessons. One of them takes 4 minutes, so it's lessons together, so it's 90 minutes, and this part that explain stuff about dictionaries, it took about 10 or 15 minutes. This was just at the beginning to show them that there are such possibilities that they could use these dictionaries.
Aha, so at the beginning you give them resources that they can use all the way through the
Yes,
course.
e-
Uh-huh.
exactly. Yes, yes.
Okay. So,
Yes.
uh, so let me speed up the process of this a little bit. I'm going to give you an idea for something that a teacher can do or an educator can do in a classroom or with a group. And I want you to tell me yes or no. Okay? I'm going to
Okay.
say, would you do this? And you're going to say yes
Okay.
or no. Okay? Here we go. Right.
Okay.
Ways, these are ways to innovate and animate what is happening within the classroom and ways to keep focus and get students' attention. So, here we go. The first yes or no is would you sing? Would
In
you sing in a
class?
class? Yeah, would you sing?
Maybe with guitar, but I found out that when I sing English songs, I'm not used to that a lot, and I've got quite difficulties. For example, when I sing Karel Kryl, it's okay because I've got feeling for this kind of music, but it depends on the type of music that I should sing. But I think I wouldn't have problem with that.
Okay, so you could you you have to choose the kind of music that fits your voice, right? You won't be
It's
doing any
something
Michael Jackson or
I
maybe.
think that I wouldn't do that because that would be funny probably.
Oh, you could do it for fun, I suppose. Okay, that was the first one. Okay, second, would you dance in a classroom?
I like dance, no problem.
Okay, would you be able to use that in a classroom to help a group of students? Yes or no?
Dancing,
Yeah, dancing.
just
Dancing.
to get them relaxed, or
It could be. Could be just to get them relaxed. It could be to get them moving. It could be to get them focused. It could be just something wild and crazy to do something different. Um, I used to, with my groups of students, have a traditional Scottish country dancing lesson.
it's
I
quite
used,
interesting.
I used to bring in the music to the class, and I used to line up the students, and they all had partners, and I would teach them a big dance that they would all go through, and it would take about an hour to do it. And of course, I would use English to give the instructions to tell people what to do during the dance, and the end of this, the whole session was the learning process of the words and the phrases and the vocabulary for movement, and at the end of the session, they danced and they learned something cultural. So that's just one example of how you can throw in something really crazy. Okay. Um, here's another idea. Would you bring in another person to talk to the class? Yes or no?
Yes, that would be quite interesting, I think.
Okay. Um, would you play music to your class? Yes or no?
No problem with that.
Okay. What kind of music would you play?
It always, it again depends. Probably I would not play rock to the retired people. It would be probably some kind of folk or
Mhm.
relaxed music, a little bit get them relaxed or something tranquil.
Mhm. Okay, something cool and tranquil. Um, would you do an activity similar to maybe yoga or something with a group of students in a classroom to help them focus? Do you think that
I,
would work?
I I know I've got one friend, Anka, who is she's just retired these days, about 2 days ago, and she told me that today she was going to gym, and tomorrow she's going to yoga, so no problem. But I don't think that this should be the topic of English lessons to do yoga.
Yeah, I agree that it shouldn't be a topic, but it could be 5 or 10 minutes of focus at the beginning or the end. It doesn't have to be classical yoga. It could just be a mind exercise to focus on something specific, think of something specific, listen to a story, um, try to create a certain kind of mood or atmosphere within the room.
It can be interesting, but I'm not very good at it, so I wouldn't probably do that because I would probably first get some experience with it and then I could do it, but not now, not now.
Uh-huh. So it's so you would stick to what you know, stick to what you're good at. Sorry. Yeah.
Yes, exactly, exactly, because otherwise I would make just fun of me, and maybe it would be interesting as well. But I'm trying, for example, now I'm teaching the computer skills and English because I consider that I'm quite good at it, so I am doing that. But
Mhm.
no, I'm not very good at yoga, so that would be probably disaster.
Okay. How about competition? Good idea or bad idea in the classroom?
Competition. That's the problem with me that I have to probably not very competitive person. I always try to behave friendly and like I said that when there is competition I try to ignore it because it stresses me too much.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay, that's interesting. Who was your who was the best teacher for you when you were at school, and why were they so good?
I like Mr. Djadjo at Economic University of Maciej Bell, Economic Faculty of Maciej Bell.
Hmm.
He taught us marketing and some other subjects, and he was very keen. Like I could see on his face and everything that when he explained something, that he really meant it,
Hmm.
and that he was talking. He knew what he was talking about, and he was good expert, and that. And even though he was what he was talking about was serious stuff, but always it was always like said in the friendly way, and students had, even though it was said friendly, students had respect of him. They knew that he is good at it, and that he really means what he says.
Mhm. And what was the difference between his friendly style and your friendly style?
It's probably that's what I was thinking about, because when I get to a new circumstances or new place, I usually it takes me about, for example, at new work, it takes me about 1 or 2 years before I really get accustomed place. So maybe this was my problem at the secondary school, that if I stay there longer than 2 years, because I was there just for 2 years. I had been there just for 2 years. So if I was there longer, I would probably get stricter.
Hmm.
The problem was that there were maybe some other forces that didn't want to stay me there or whatever. I don't know. I'm not saying any preconceptions or whatever, but they didn't want to prolong me the contract. So if
Hmm.
they prolonged me, I would probably get a little bit more used to it, and maybe I would be more confident, and I would probably do it differently.
Hmm.
So that's maybe.
Okay, yeah, there are many forces around a teacher which are out of the teacher's control. Some of the things in the classroom the teacher can control, but some of the things outside of the classroom in the establishment, environment, and other dynamics that are going on, perhaps between staff and other teachers, these are really difficult elements to control and often can make things very uncomfortable for teachers. So here's a question for you. Do you think that people are that some people, do you think that some people are natural born teachers? Or do you think that it's something that we can learn?
I think it's 50-50.
Hmm.
50% is natural bornness,
Hmm.
and 50% or even more percent, maybe even 60 or 70% is that you have to get used to it. You have to find your ways of teaching, how you can do it the best way. So maybe 30-40% is, or even less, is born qualities, and then about 70 or 60% you have to just get used to it. You have to practice it.
Hmm. Okay, so practice makes perfect,
Yes.
basically. All right. And what is your definition of a good teacher? What do you think that means?
Definition of a good teacher.
Or maybe even your definition of a great teacher. What,
Great.
yeah, what would that be?
I was doing some kind of tests. I don't know if I have them here. Uh, Maybe I don't have it here, but I have something here. When I was when I was trying to get a job at Bratislava at AT&T at call center, I was considering the attributes that were needed there. There was like polite communications, friendly communication, very good English vocabulary, very fast and efficient learner of new skills, enjoy teamwork, and compliant and intelligent. So it could be something like that.
Okay, wow. That's that's a that's a lot of skills there. Is there something, one of those, which is more important than all the others? If you had to pick out one key skill or attribute, what
Like
would
I
it
know
be?
that I know that I am friendly. I try to be always friendly. I am polite if I can. Very good English skills, English speaking and writing and listening and reading skills. For English teacher is very important. Without that, he couldn't teach the English language. He couldn't teach English language. And yes, very
Yeah.
fast and efficient learner of new skills. So the new English, the English teacher should be flexible, very flexible and creative. Not always creative, and not too much creative, but there has to be some kind of level, some kind of level of creativity. Teamwork. I'm not saying that he should be like a leader or something, but he should be tutor. Like I just heard maybe 1 week or 2 weeks ago that definition that teacher is just more experienced student that explains that transfers the knowledge to the less experienced students.
Oh,
So
absolutely, and that's important for two reasons. The first reason is that students can help students in that definition. That students with more experience can help students with less experience, which I think is always practical and useful. And the second thing is that as long as I am ahead of my students, it can be 5 days, 5 hours, 5 minutes. but but as long as I'm just a little bit ahead of my students, I can lead them. I can lead them. So I think I often feel that with my work that I am more knowledgeable and more experienced than my students. But I feel like I'm just a tiny little bit ahead of them and they're catching me really quickly and that I need to move really fast and work on myself in order to continue to be the best that I can be for the groups of students that I have. So all of those things are really important. So, Stefan, I would like to take this moment in time to acknowledge you for your teaching work and for your contribution on our Facebook group, our new Facebook group, Skype coaching for teachers of the English language.